Welcome back to the Little Growth Podcast. I am your host, Damson, and if you have not yet done so, be sure to hit follow, to hit subscribe on my YouTube channel, that's Little Growth Podcast, and on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And we also have an Instagram account for specialized and summarized content for you all, and also getting updates on when and where the next episodes are coming to you. Today, we are tackling the most overused, annoying, and misunderstood word in the self-improvement world. Consistency. Now, I'm sure we've all heard this phrase, and I'm sure it comes so much in almost every self-improvement space that you go around. And it is these three words. Consistency is key. But why? Why do people say that? Why does the guy who goes to the gym 3 days a week for 5 years look a whole lot better than the guy who goes 7 days a week for 2 months and then quits? Why is the mediocre writer who posts every day more famous than the genius who only writes when they feel inspired? Today, we're stripping away the fluff. We are looking at the math of the brain. I'm going to share with you the lessons that I have learned from iconic movie characters. And we're going to look at the cold, hard science of why boring repetition is actually the most exciting thing you can do for your future. This episode is for those in their 20s and for those in their 30s, those who are tired of starting over. Now, let's find out why the turtle actually beats the hare. Now, to understand consistency, you have to understand the substance in your brain called myelin. Now, I want you to think of myelin like the insulation on an electrical wire. Research in neuroplasticity shows that every time you repeat an action, your brain wraps more myelin around that specific neural pathway. That means the thicker the myelin, the faster and more accurately the signal travels. Now, the insight from this research is basically telling us that consistency is the process of insulating your skills. When you stop, the insulation thins out. This is why natural talent always gets overtaken by consistent effort. Think of talent like a fast car. But think of consistency like a paved road, a paved flat road. The best analogy to apply this is you have talent, Ferrari, and you have a road. But you can't drive a Ferrari on a dirt path for long. If you want to zoom past, you have to make sure that the path that you're taking is smoother than a dirt path. There, you go faster and you go further. Now, have you ever heard of the linear versus exponential growth study? Basically, it says if you fold a piece of paper 42 times, how thick do you think it gets? Now, most people would say an inch or two. Mathematically, it would reach the moon. Now, consistency works like compound interest. The first 10 folds look like nothing. Now, that's where most of you quit. You are at fold number 7 and you're saying, this paper is still flat. But the magic happens in the folds that you can't see it. Now, if we're going on and on about consistency, there is this movie series that I watched of recent. For those that don't know Sylvester Stallone, there is the hit movies that were based on a character called Rocky Balboa. Now, according to me and the way I watched it, this is the patron saint of consistency. Rocky Balboa. Now, in his movie 2006, in his movie Rocky Balboa, it was filmed in 2006, he gives his son that famous speech. Now, he tells his son, it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Now, for those that haven't watched Rocky or don't know about him, let me shed some context. Rocky was not the fastest boxer, and he wasn't the most technical boxer, but he was the one who wouldn't stop showing up. Now, that's what consistency is. The ability to take a hit. And when I say take a hit, that means a bad day, that means a failure, and that means a rejection. The ability to take all those hits and still show up the next morning anyway. Now, don't get me wrong. Most people fail not because they weren't good enough. They don't fail because they were not good enough, but because they stopped getting back up. Now, in the movie of your life, are you the guy who gets knocked out once and stays down? Or are you Rocky? Another famous character we can talk about is Jerry Seinfeld. Now, he's a famous comedian, and he had a simple rule, or he has a simple rule. Now, he has this giant calendar on his wall. Every day he writes a joke. He puts a big red X on that day. Now, his goal, according to him, his goal was don't break the chain. Simple as that. That's what consistency also means. Don't break the chain. Now, a study by Dr. Philippa Lally at University College of London found that it takes, on average, 66 days for a new behavior to become automatic. Now, consistency is not about the quality of the work in the beginning. It's about the identity of the worker. By not breaking the chain, you stop being someone who tries to write and you start being a writer. Once it's your identity, it's no longer a struggle. It's just who you are. Now let's look at another movie. And this was based on the trilogy of the Batman that was acted by famous actor Christian Bale. Now, let's take a look at Bruce Wayne in Batman Begins. Now, he did not become Batman because he was rich. He became Batman because he spent so many years in a Himalayan prison. Then, years training with the League of Shadows. And he once said, "It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me." Now, in the realm of superheroes and the DC comics, we understand that Batman does not have superpowers. But he did stand out and he was better than almost all the superheroes in DC comics because he is the literal peak of human consistency. He had no superpowers. Just let me make that clear to everyone. He had no superpowers. But that one superpower that he had is that he trained longer and harder than everyone else. So, what do we learn from this? It means you don't need a radioactive spider bite to change your life. We are not waiting for the one moment, the one canon event that is going to turn things around for you to become better, to become more consistent, to become successful. No, that's not what we are looking for. What you need, however, is the discipline to do the boring training when nobody is watching. Consistency is the only thing that bridges the gap between the person you are and the person that you want to be. It's not about being 100% better today. It's about being 1% better every single day. Now, if you do that in 1 year, you will be 37 times better than you are right now. That's basically the math of consistency. And I remember actually alluding to this in one of my previous episodes where I quoted James Clear because he also said this in his book of Atomic Habits. So, what's the challenge for us today? I want us to pick one tiny habit, not a huge one, a small one, and just do it today. Now, be sure to take a screenshot of this episode wherever you're listening to it and post it on your Instagram story and tag me at little.growth20 and caption the one habit that you're going to start doing on a daily basis to build the consistency, to become a better version of yourself. And use the hashtag #LittleGrowthConsistency. What I will do is look at every single one and reshare the most dedicated ones so that we can also build this community. Now, I'm going to leave you with this. Stop waiting for the perfect time. The perfect time is just today, repeated forever. I'm Damson, and this has been the Little Growth Podcast. Keep showing up and don't give up. I'll see you in the next one.